Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking. Lakers on my mind. Just got through watching the game that was really, really hard to watch, as most midday games on a Sunday afternoon are. No matter where it's at, home, away, nobody ever wants to play those. If someone doesn't get injured in the game, then usually it's a huge blowout. If it ain't a huge blowout, then you have some nonsense or something of that nature in these type of games. Well, luckily enough, wasn't really injury issues or anything like that. Everybody walked away healthy, but the game just did not go the Lakers' way, and it was a lot of ineptitude and just questionable decision making that ultimately led to the Laker loss. And everybody's frustrated. I'm listening to some of the people who have something to say. I've listened to Big Game James and then the panel there. I've listened to all of our guys at Laker Nation. Waiting to hear a few others, but I sat here and invented for about 45 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that. And I just can't help but think that Rob Pelinka has to have something in play for why we are not moving at all. And it has to be big to justify what we're going through, honestly. And it should have something to do with Russell Westbrook being active and on the floor down the stretch of basketball games, because I don't think there is any logical reason to sub him in to these games that he's been subbed into at the times that he's been subbed in. And I firmly believe he's been an asset to both of these games. But because he's been managed a certain way, and so to sub him in at those moments is to mismanage him, and that is bad. So if I'm to look at it and say that is bad, I have to ask, is it bad on purpose? Or is it bad because we're just looking at ineptitude and people are being stupid? Now, most of the time when I come to the conclusion that people are being stupid in professional situations, I end up finding out that it's me who's has more to learn. And then 9 out of 10 times they're not being stupid. They're just deliberately doing things that look stupid for strategic reasons. 9 out of 10 times. So what I'm saying is, I'm fathoming a world where there's a big trade locked up, and it's determining certain things in certain ways. People have to look a certain way. And if I'm saying all of this, I'm just basically trying to be an optimist and saying I'm hoping all of this just isn't people just not knowing how to do their job properly, or not having really a plan in place, or maybe just things being as bad as they look. But I always wonder, I have to wonder, is there a strategy to all of this? Is there a reason we're putting Russell Westbrook in these games down the stretch, when we know that the likelihood of him not playing well in those circumstances and it leading to us losing the game is very, very high? But if that's the case, are we hoping to see something out of him that we're not seeing? And if so, are we not aware that that is not working, and should we not stop? Those are the things that I'm asking myself and asking the Laker organization in this camera. So that's where my head is, man. I'm a frustrated fan. I know it's only 3 games. Try not to be too short-sighted, but I just didn't like what I saw out there. And I think when you're starting the season off this way and you see a lack of focus from the most important player, and you understand why that lack of focus is in place because of distractions and things of that nature, you ultimately look at Anthony Davis, you understand how well he's playing, and you see that he's putting up some of the best defensive stats he's put up in a while, and looks great. And you just wonder where your team's going. You wonder where your team's headed. You're looking at the rest of the league. You see youth, you see size, you see shooting, and you see your team in a position to where they have to play a very unorthodox way in order to succeed. And if they don't figure it out, then you have a lost season. A lost season that fuels a direct rival that we have in the New Orleans Pelicans. With every losing season, they get better and better with our picks. So it's important to me that we don't give away seasons, that we win to make those picks not so good. Not just to improve our situation, but to at least try to somewhat stop them. before they turn into the next dynasty, for which looks imminent to me if they continue to pile on what it is that we give them. So this is where my head is. I'm trying to see the silver lining here as regards to us starting the season looking this bad. And the silver lining is I believe that we are a good defensive team, if not great defensive team, to be honest. I think we are a good interior scoring team, if not great interior scoring team. But I think ultimately in this era, if you want to win the championship, you got to be able to shoot the basketball. So our goal is to be able to acquire the best pieces possible to put us in a position to win in the short term. But we are probably best to strategize, or rather, probably much easier for us to strategize if we broaden our scope a bit further. But because of our circumstances, we're probably not looking in that direction. So we just got to look to take those 2 picks and try to get the best piece for it for right now. Now, I'm of the mindset that that's the way to go because we've already committed to that. And if we were going to do, tear it all down, I think we probably should have done that sooner than what we would be doing if we were to try to do that now. I think it looks a lot better if we just figure this out, but we have to do certain things a certain way, and I don't believe that the commitment is there. I don't see the commitment necessary to make it happen. So if the players and the coaching staff don't believe, I don't want to go through another season like last year just for it to end up with us not getting anything for it. When I know the pieces that we have can reset our timeline and make us a team that at least has a little more than what we have right now to show for it. So I just want Jeanie to make a decision, and I'll be at peace if the decision is to break it up, because I understand how expensive this is, and I don't believe it can win. I really don't. I think we can make certain trades to make ourselves better, but I don't see the path to us making ourselves good enough to make those trades good trades. Teams are going to try to fleece us because our players aren't any good, and they know how our weaknesses, are to us, how glaring those weaknesses are, and how important they are to close them, fix them, what have you. So I just think we're in a desperate position. I think the world can see that, and I think it looks worse because of how we started the season. It's okay to not be able to shoot, but to shoot a lot, to let that be what it is that you're showing, when you know you're going up against some of the best teams in the league. Playing to your weaknesses when you're at a disadvantaged position, it's a terrible strategy. And what we're doing with Russell Westbrook, I think is confusing. It's confusing because I don't know why we're prioritizing him in this way. I worded it to say we're treating it politically, as if it's like some politics involved. Like, you got to scratch his back regardless of what it is. It's that kind of thing. And I don't get it, and that's why I tried to rationalize it the way I started the video, because I don't understand why we're subbing him in. And if anybody tells me it's for basketball reasons, I'm just to assume that they don't understand basketball. And I'm sorry to put Russell Westbrook in that place and to say that, but anyone with eyes would say the same thing if they saw what we saw tonight, and it's all what we've seen for the last year and some change. So I've been one to say that I think he should have been sent home already. I do not know if Jeanie Buss is leaning toward doing that, or if that's what they feel is best for what it is they're trying to accomplish behind the scenes in trade. But I don't see his trade value being raised. What I see is our team continuing to have the same problems we had last year, and we're continuing to give Skip and Shannon more to consider and to provide themselves in content. And tomorrow's show is going to be spectacular in regards to making fun of us and our team. And I don't really like that too much as a fan. Not because it hurts my feelings or anything like that, but just because I understand it's so very unnecessary when you know that certain decisions at the top lead to ultimately all of that. And those decisions are the opposite decisions that help us on the basketball floor. No different than the decision to acquire him in the first place. So, yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. I don't know what else to say other than I hope that the Lakers have something really, really special in the tuck. In terms of trade, that would be big to bring us back a lot of pieces that we don't see coming. Guys that can do all kinds of different things. Shoot, run, jump. Abnormally talented people. Because that's what we deserve for the weight that this is taking. And for what we're seeing on the floor right now. I really believe that. We're the Los Angeles Lakers. 17 NBA championships. We have mortgaged our entire future for what we have on our floor right now. And we can't even hit a decent three-point shot. Like, I just want that to be understood. That not only is that we can't hit a decent three-point shot, but we're not self-aware enough to shoot less than the rest of the field. We have broken records with our three-point shooting ineptitude to start this season. And I don't know if I have the excuse of Darvin Ham being a rookie coach to blame. Because he's been an assistant coach in this league for years and a player as well. And I've seen mistakes made today in this game that wouldn't be made with a controller in a 12-year-old's hand. And I'm not exaggerating at all. Nor am I saying these things to be funny. I'm serious. People get fired for stuff like that. They really do. So I just wanted to put that out there, man. I really hope there's a strategy from behind the scenes, because I'm not only looking at Darvin Ham and LeBron James and the rest of the players, but I'm looking at Rob Pelinka, and I'm wondering if there's a bigger strategy or if he's just as confused as we are. And if that's the case, I'm looking at Jeannie Buss and I'm saying, you do understand that all of this is bad, right? And it starts with you and your team. The round table, so to speak, of individuals that have suggested certain things. This is what we have here with those suggestions. All of the different people you listen to, this is what we get. This is what happens, a jambalaya of old school basketball that is far outdated for what it is that we're facing. Don't you see it? You need new ways of doing things, or you get old results on the floor. The NBA is evolving, and if you don't keep up, it will pass you by. Luckily enough, we got 17 championships, because it may be 17 years before we recover from some of this nonsense we did to ourselves right here. I would love to say I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. I'm literally not. We don't have any picks. And the path to different talent we don't have, and some of that talent could potentially dominate for a very long time. These guys coming in, they're durable. They're going to stick around. You better find a path to them. You better create an environment for which they'd want to come to. And trust me, with respect to my guy Bron, they're not like Bron. They're going to want to play with all of the different talented young talent that's going to be coming in as they start to ripen in age. They're not going to want to play with old guys because they see this when they were younger. Trust me, they're not going to want to do it. So we got to get modern. We got to get state of the art. We got to get up to date. And we, most important, must overcome what we've done here and mortgaging our future. So we can continue to stay in the present if we want to, not being good enough, moping around. All of this is short-sighted, and to me, it gets worse from here on this path. So that's all I gotta say, man. I'm an unhappy Laker fan who's hoping that there's a bigger plan than what I see in front of me, because if there's not, it's about to be bad for a very long time. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.